side to be joining us for this hearing?
For this one.
Okay, great. So I need to read through our script again, and then we'll get started. So this is the October 16th, 2024 session of the zoning hearing examiner docket. Case before us today is case number, I'm sorry, so we have two case numbers, ZH20240123. That is 6165 Glenway Avenue. And we also have in this hour ZH20240122. That is 6143 to 6149 Glenway Ave. I'm going to attempt to just, do both of these cases during this hearing. And so I'll ask Alex that you try to keep the discussion bifurcated in that way, instead of mixing them all together. Sounds like one is more of the gas station fuel canopy, and the other is the main Kroger building itself. But if you could, as we discussed this, just try to keep those separate so that the record is clear what we're discussing. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and any other parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any other party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. If we did have anyone here from the public, they would have an opportunity to speak after the applicant has presented its case. I'll also hear from the Department of City Planning and Engagement. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to respond to that testimony offered in opposition and then make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I'll close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or make comments. If there are any problems with the Zoom technology, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those on the fly, but I may continue or postpone the hearing if those issues cannot be resolved. All right, everyone testifying in this hearing, if you could please raise your right hand and answer out loud. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And Alex, if you could unmute and just say that one more time.
Awesome.
Great, thank you. Okay, Mr. Barnett, you ready to proceed?
Yes, sir. Is there any particular one you would like me to start with, or?
No, up to you.
All right. Well, then I will go in numeric order and go with the one ending in 0122 for the fuel center. What we are asking for here is, in essence, we would like to add signs to both sides of the fuel canopy, particularly a digital sign on both sides. I know that this is important, excuse me, this is important to Kroger as their fuel reward system is a big reason as to why customers shop there. And those customers leaving the store will be able to then see the fuel prices directly as they're leaving the store without having to look it up on their phone or drive around. So we would need 4 locational variances and 1 numeric variance to add a lettering sign and a digital fuel price sign on the east side of the fuel canopy that faces Glenway Avenue.
What is currently, is there anything currently there? Is it more of the static?
It is the scrolling signs, and the issue Kroger's running into with these is that manufacturer is phasing out production of parts and these signs altogether. So just similar, like in the previous case we heard together, it's just a matter of time before they become dilapidated and make the property look bad. So they want to be able to update those.
So where exactly will the digital components be located?
They're going to be in the same spots as the scrolling sign. So on the corner of the fuel canopy on the side facing the store. And then I believe that's the side facing Glenway.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, will I guess what is that, a monument sign, Trey? The large sign that has the Kroger, will that be impacted at all by this?
No,
It has the fuel prices and the Kroger.
that just has sign face changes there, so they're within the same area. We don't view that as entirely new signs. They're within the existing cabinets. Whereas on the canopy, you're having basically brand new digital signs for the fuel pricing, as Alex is indicating. which is more like LED or whatever lighting, like that does the fuel prices without it scrolling like some marquee sign, which is similar to, as Alex just put it perfectly, it's exactly like the situation where you had the church before. It's this little individual little light bulb kind of things lit up, and it scrolls across like the old stock ticker things used to, or things would across some marquees for theaters, which are becoming outdated, and they're replacing those with digital ones. And then all four sides of the canopy are getting an updated logo sign. So that's complete replacement. And then there's also at least some signage that doesn't have frontage on the service building. So that would explain the totality of all the signs there.
Gotcha. So does the east side not have frontage?
The east side toward Glenway does, yes. But it's going to have two signs on that one wall. So it's going to have, that one needs numeric relief, but not locational relief, because it's having a second, it has frontage, but it's having two signs, a digital fuel sign, and then it's going to have a logo, brand new logo sign put on there. The other three sides don't have any frontage. And then the back north side, or I guess that would be west, sorry, the west side, they're requesting numeric variance there too, because they want more than one sign on that wall, which makes sense to do Alex's point. I'm sorry to jump ahead here, but we're just trying to get this accomplished.
That's fine.
It makes
the
sense
reason I
because
asked
it's facing the Kroger. So if somebody's a customer coming out of the Kroger, hopping in their car ready to leave, and they're like, "Oh, I realize I need gas," they can see the price, the sign right there, and it's obvious to them. So
got it. Okay.
Makes common sense.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I just number 4 on your details of zoning relief, Trey, it says that east side does not have frontage, but sounds like that may have just been a typo, which is fine. I just want to clarify. So that does have frontage, but it's going to have two signs, so it will need the numeric relief just for the number of signs, right?
It says, no, number 4 says does have frontage. There's no not in there.
Ah, there you go.
See,
that's my fault.
Okay, no worries. I'm just clarifying that's why it needs a numeric. It has frontage, but it wants two signs on that frontage. Does that make sense?
Got it. Yep.
All
Okay.
right, cool.
Thanks for that clarification. Appreciate
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Burnett, anything else you want to tell me about this one?
Other than wayfinding other than wayfinding and just trying to make sure that customers are informed of the fuel prices and get that target audience. The other big reason for this is that kind of diamond multi-colored logo is actually from a convenience store chain that Kroger had bought previously and has since sold off. So it is certainly outdated branding. I don't think there's any copyright issues with that, but it's just not under their banner of stores anymore. So that's why they're updating to the fuel centers to this cart logo.
Got it. Okay. So the updated logos are all just replacing existing signage that's on the fuel canopy on each side.
Yep.
And then the with the new logo, and then the static or whatever the existing fuel price signs are both there, right? So there's a fuel price sign facing the Kroger and a fuel price sign facing the frontage on Glenway. Those are just being replaced with digital.
Correct.
And that's the basis for all of this. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't think I have any other questions about that one. Trey, did you want to?
The only thing, this will segue in perfectly with what we're about to do next for the next hearing, which is that this is kind of a unique site in that there's technically frontage for the Kroger because there's a panhandle going out kind of to the southeast. If you look at like figure 2, or if you're on Cages, you look at figure 2 on my staff report, you'll see that the drive extends out and then comes to frontage on a public street out to the southeast, that way. And so there is frontage to, I guess that's the, kind of southeast, if you will, in that way. And then there's also obviously frontage as you go like straight east, northeast toward the, like along Glenway. So, I just want to point out that this is kind of a unique lot in that, there's a great deal of traffic, parking and stuff in here that is accessed via entry drives. And there are other, obviously outlots all along Glenway. And then you also have to the Glenway side of the Kroger building, the Kroger main building, and heading kind of southeast, if you will, there's another strip center that's on Kroger's lot. That's a non-conforming condition. You wouldn't now allow multiple principal buildings on the same lot. They'd have to be on separate lots. So that's something that's existed from, decades ago from when this mall was developed. And so it does create a situation for Kroger where you have different entries coming in and people potentially going and shopping at these other stores that are all like literally dozens of other stores here, a couple dozen other stores or businesses, and then trying to wayfind their way both for Kroger purposes with the main building, but also for the gas station. So they can't presume everybody's coming right up Glenway and into the gas station. They could be coming from, the southeast or whatever, down farther down to the, in this case, like in figure 2 to the right side of lower right corner. They could be coming in, they're off a side street and coming in, going to, some other store in any of these little strip or outlying spaces, and then trying to proceed either to the Kroger's or the gas station. So, there's a legit wayfinding thing here where it's not like this has three or four frontages here. Technically, yes, that one lower right, like lower right corner. There is frontage, so there's the signs that you're going to see shortly, or we'll talk about in just a minute with Kroger's have frontage, so they don't need relief in terms of that. But I just wanted to provide like an overall explanation of why wayfinding, is an important component of both of these requests.
Okay, great. Thanks, Trey. So Mr. Barnett, unless there's anything else you want to talk about on this one, we can move on to 6165 then.
Yes, so this, as Trey said, this is all about wayfinding for this proposal. As I'm sure you're aware, and have probably utilized the service yourself, Kroger has their pickup. It is dominating all markets, not just grocery. And it's particularly geared towards Kroger's busiest of customers. So think single moms, busy moms, just I don't know why that's the one I can think of, but yeah, trying to get to
I think
that's
he was
just
asking, hey Alex, I think he was asking you to summarize to close out the if you wanted to close out the fuel, or you're moving on to next.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I asked him to move on to the next.
Okay, my apologies. All right, we're good. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the pickup, the expediency and the popularity of that.
And lots of these customers aren't necessarily always going to the same store. And with so many Krogers getting this rolled out to them over the last few years, they may not know that they offer it. So it just helps expedite once they're on the property, knowing where to go, making that a safer experience where it's clearly marked where they need to be. And then that brings us to the pharmacy pickup sign. Here we're catering to some of the more vulnerable customers, elderly, those that are immunocompromised possibly. This allows them to stay in their vehicle, know where to go, and lets them know that this is a service that is offered at this location, that they don't have to get out of their car to get their prescription. They can stay in, and I think that is a necessary luxury for some people.
Is there an existing pharmacy sign where the proposed new sign?
Yes, there is a square cabinet that says pharmacy drive-through. These new proposed white letters are contrast with the building much better, and I think it'll be a lot easier to see that from across the parking lot.
Got it.
And,
Okay.
and then the main store sign, we're updating just like we were for the fuel center to add that logo, that cart logo, which is essential to Kroger's new branding. It is a little bit larger, but I think it is appropriate to the footprint of the building. And I think that is all I have on that. Unless you have any questions for me.
Gotcha. So, yeah, it's replacing the existing Kroger sign on the front with the new shopping cart Kroger logo and the pickup logo, and then it's the pharmacy on side, the pharmacy pickup window on the side accounts
That is
for the
correct.
3 wall sign.
Yes.
That you're requesting relief for.
I think everybody froze.
I'm back. Yeah.
Sorry guys, I've
Yeah,
had an
that's
unstable internet
everybody froze
connection.
up
I'm
for
not
me.
sure if you heard the end of that, but yeah.
I was just
Yeah,
gonna point out
so those
there is a
three signs are the basis of the request for relief, correct?
the
Yes, sir.
the pharmacy sign, David, is still on that main the larger side of the larger wall, like the facade of the Kroger's. It's over toward the corner, and then there is a one on literally on the side facing Glenway, but because it's a single sign, it's compliant.
Right. So I don't see, well, at least not in your staff report, Trey. I don't see the pharmacy sign that's going to be on the front of the building.
Let me see here.
Mr. Shirky, it is kind of, I had trouble without, because I had personally never been to this site. I'm a Northern Kentucky native, so I think Trey had to point out to me where this was. It's just on the very far right side of the building, on the
Oh, I
front.
got you. Okay. I see. Okay.
Yeah, you'd have to go all the
Okay.
way over
Oh,
to
that's
the
it.
far
I
corner.
see it.
So it's kind of, yeah, it's facing the parking lot, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's showing the existing and then the proposed, and see it's on the main facade with the other
I
signs. That's why you needed relief. And then
I
there's
thought figure
one
8 was on the side,
right on. Well,
the
there
way
is
that
one.
was
There is one
worked.
90 degrees to that on the side, but it's compliant
Yeah.
because it's the only sign there, right? Other than instructional. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yep. Thanks. Okay. I'm actually seeing as I look through very old street view images that there used to be a food and drug. Used to say Kroger Food and Drug, right where the Kroger pickup sign is proposed to be located. It looks fairly consistent size wise, but okay. Trey, anything you want to say on this proposal?
There are 2 other signs that are on the building that are going to remain because, as often with one of these larger Krogers, they have, usually like a Fifth Third, and I think there's like a health care place where you can go, not just the pharmacy, but maybe go and get, a flu shot or whatnot that's in there, like a health thing. So those are just going to remain, but I would consider those to be separate internal businesses, just like if you're in a kind of a strip mall or something. They're separate internal businesses that are accessory kind of to the Kroger. So I've already kind of explained the wayfinding component. I think this makes a lot of sense. It's just that the big stretch of this building, which is hundreds of feet, faces toward the parking lot, not toward Glenway, and there are a lot of other stores around in there, and it is a little bit of a zoo as far as driving around. So I think this will let people know where they need to go, and for parking in a large parking lot, it helps them choose where they're going to park, depending on what part of the Kroger they're going to visit. So, and lastly, there are a lot of non-conforming and non-compliant signs in this area. I mean, it's a very, very busy stretch. It's probably one of the busier stretches of kind of like Coleraine Avenue and part of Beachmont and other arterials that we have in Cincinnati. It's a very busy street, and
Yeah.
there are
It's
lots
probably a
of
shorter list of compliant signs than non-compliant signs on Glenway.
Probably, I would concur. So yeah, it's not like it's not in keeping with the neighborhood. These are a lot of sort of very automobile oriented area here, where signage is very important for wayfinding. This is not your commercial neighborhood pedestrian with its little bistro and coffee shop. This is big stores that are with parking lots where you drive in, you get out, and then you go back out on the street. So.
Okay, thanks, Trey. Alex, anything in closing or otherwise?
Just again, thank you for for working with us on this project, and we look forward to our continued cooperation on it.
Okay, great. Yeah, I've had a chance to review the application materials, and after discussing this and hearing the testimony here today, I agree with the staff report that it would be impractical to strictly enforce the zoning code to this application, and I think it is consistent with not only existing signage, but the surrounding signage along Glenway, and particularly in this commercial district. So I'm going to approve the application. As if you haven't heard it yet, you will hear it a lot in the future. The process here is I need to produce a written decision that will serve as Trey's signal that he can approve the zoning in our system. So as soon as I finish that decision, I'll put it into a PDF. I'll email it to you, to everyone in the hearing. And once you and Trey have that, Trey again can approve the permitting in the system, and you can take the next steps on this. Any questions about that?
Just one. So you had said approve the application. I just want to make sure that the approval that you just stated was encompassing both of these cases.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Approval for both, written decisions to follow, and via email, and and you can move forward from there.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
And if for any reason you'd like a status update on the decision, 2 weeks is my goal. Sometimes you can ask your predecessor about this. Sometimes it does go a little bit longer than that. So if that's the case and you want an update, just send it to me. But it's typically just working through a queue of other applications. So either way, though, I'm happy to let you know where I'm at.
Absolutely, I appreciate that.
Sure, no problem.
Alex, I'm gonna, just for your notification, I'm gonna be in town throughout like the rest of October and the beginning of November.
Okay.
So it should be a quick flip. That's all I'm getting at for you to know for your client that I'll be able to do that right away as soon as David issues a decision.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear. Thank you. Thank you both.
No problem. Sounds good.